Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Everything that's wonderful is what I feel when.
Hey, Big Swall here. I'd like to try something with you. I'd like you to close your eyes. Don't worry, nobody's looking. And I'd like you to picture your life as it is right now. Pretty easy to do since we're currently living in it. Think about the images that make up your life right now. The sights, the smells, the sounds, the feelings that are associated with your experiences at this time in your life. How many of those experiences have been shared by you to others? How many of those experiences do you feel are worth sharing? How many of those experiences that, if you did share them with others, might help others out? You can open your eyes now. For those that don't know me, my name is Brent Swolsky. I am a high school counselor in the Chicago area and a lifelong storyteller. And while I did receive training formally for my work working with youth as they work through and progress through probably the most influential times in their lives, I really don't have any formal practice for storytelling. And that's because I firmly believe that everyone has a story to tell. It's true. It's all there. All of our experiences that we're having on a daily basis are the subject for our stories. And so you might ask yourself, hey, Big Swall, who's going to listen to my story? What do I have to tell? Who's going to do that? And my answer to that is anyone. Anyone will listen to your story. It just takes a couple of words to get the ball rolling if you know what to look for. Let's try this. Some of you might be asking how I got my nickname Big Swall. And there is a story for that. And it goes like this. About 12 years ago, I was a younger counselor and I was trying to figure out how to bring my point of view, my energy into my position as counselor. And one of the things that I was drawn to was working directly with students in the area of prevention. And I found a program called Operation Snowball. And for those of you that don't know Operation Snowball, it is a prevention program that is youth-led and adult-supported, and the whole purpose of it is for youth to help other youth in making positive choices in their lives and celebrating those choices. And so I was pulling this program together at my school, and one of the students that was a part of that was a girl by the name of Rosh. And she was not very big in stature and size. She's about 4'10", maybe 90 pounds, dripping wet, and she had this huge personality. And any time she walked into the room, it was noticed. She just had that energy about her. And so she would walk into the room, and I started to call her Big Rosh. She'd walk in, hey, Big Rosh, what's up? And she would smile, and then we'd all go about our business. About halfway through the year, about 4 months into it, I called her Big Rosh when she walked in the room, like I do every time. And she looked at me and she goes, hey, Big Swall. And all of the others looked at Big Rosh and they looked at me and they said, oh yeah. And that's it, that stuck. And ever since then, everybody who knows me and works with me calls me Big Swall, and that's the name that I go by. Now, I'm pretty sure that you've never had that exact same experience that I just shared with you about my buddy Big Rosh. And that makes sense, right? I mean, you know, we all live in our own unique lives. But I do ask you this. As I was sharing my experiences about how Big Rosh coined my nickname, did your thoughts go to a time in your life when someone might have called you by your own nickname? And if so, why did your mind go there? And how did that thought train make you feel? I mean, whatever that feeling is, it was not by accident. See, we tell stories to feel a connection with others. You may not experience the same series of events or under the same circumstances as me. I mean, that would be crazy, weird, multi-dimensional stuff that's discussion points for a whole nother virtual conference. But it's the feeling that helps bind our stories together. If I can give you a story that you're able to connect with on a feeling level. Well, that's what we call having an empathetic moment. And empathy is the key to great storytelling. Storytelling is not difficult, and it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be forced. I mean, so much of our experiences happen organically, so why not the retelling of those experiences? Why can't they be organic? And think about this for a moment. It only took me about 90 seconds to tell you the story about how Big Raj coined my nickname. But in those 90 seconds, I was able to harness 4 months of experience with Roshni and myself. I mean, if I were to share every one of those moments leading up to that moment of truth, I'd bore you, I'd lose you. As an audience, you'd be gone, right? But it's my ability to select those moments and to summarize the important memories that are meaningful to the story, and then to synthesize those to create that empathetic moment. That's what makes up the story. And we all do it. When you're telling a story, whether it's retelling an experience of your life or it's responding to another person's story, we are all doing just that. We're selecting those moments in our lives. We are summarizing those memories, and we are synthesizing them in a way that you as the listener are able to experience on a feelings level. The hard part, and probably the most important part of storytelling, is having the courage to share your story. Because if you don't share your story, who else will? And that's the takeaway here. If I don't share my story, who else will? We are living in an unprecedented time in our lives. I mean, I've never had a time in my life where there's been so much uncertainty about what the future holds for our community, for our country, for our planet. Between the COVID-19 pandemic and the health crisis that's going on, to the social justice that all of us are experiencing through the Black Lives Matter movement, to Mother Earth still grappling on a daily basis with the stresses being placed on her. We're not just witnessing history unfold before us. We are experiencing it, participating in it, living it. Imagine all the stories that are being written right now. There will come a time in our future, maybe years from now, maybe minutes, when you will be able to select the memories of this time, to summarize the moments that matter most to you, and to synthesize those moments to create empathy in your audience. And when that moment arrives, when that time comes, you will have the answer to the most important question of your life. What's your story? Thanks for listening.
Thanks so much for joining us for the Train of Positivity Virtual Summit. We hope you choose to have a great day. Please be sure to check out other positive influencers throughout the summit. And if you enjoyed this specific talk, feel free to like and subscribe and share with other positive humans through your favorite social media outlets using the hashtag #TrainOfPositivity.